Also, Timmy's here. With Court Stealing coming out this week, since it stars Austin Butler, who, obviously is becoming one of the most hottest actors in the business now. He is a pretty cool actor, and obviously he got an Oscar nomination, and so I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Austin Butler film and TV projects. So here is my list. Number 10 is a movie not many people really like, but I actually had a fun time with it. And that is Yoga Hosers. This is, of course, directed by Kevin Smith as a comedic horror film that follows two teenage yoga enthusiasts, the Colleens, played by, Kevin Smith's daughter, Holly Quinn Smith, and also played by, Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, who, of course, was just in Nosferatu last year. And, of course, they work at, like, a Canadian convenience store, and when, like, an incident, Ancient Evil emerges, they team up with a quirky detective to save the day here. And, of course, Johnny Depp is, like, the detective and all. In the role, Austin Butler plays the role of Hunter Calloway, who's very, like, charming, comedic. He is best friends to Tyler Pose's character. Like, they really play off each other well there, too. Of course, he plays, like, the high school heartthrob and minor crushes for the Colleens. And his role is very brief, really. But he does serve some really decent comedic timings. Plot point in the teen's, like, social world. He does have some charm to him. Really decent film. I mean, it's not really Kevin Smith's, like, best top-tier work. But I had a fun time with Yoga Hosers. Alright. Number 9 is Zoe 101. Now, of course, obviously, Austin Butler has had, roles on Disney and Nickelodeon at the time. He also appeared in iCarly. He had a uncredited role in on Drake and Josh. He had an uncredited role on Unfabulous and all. But of course, this is actually one of like his most notable Nickelodeon roles here. Of course, he plays like James, who's a new student, and he of course ends up becoming Zoe's love interest in the final season. He is very kind and all. And of course, his chemistry with Jamie Lynn Spears is really decent. He really has like some fresh romantic arcs to the final season, and this is, I guess, like one of the shows that really gave him like his breakout gig and all. And it's really like I know it's very awkward to talk about Nickelodeon nowadays because of Dan Schneider, whatever. But I still usually always quite like Zoe 101 and Austin Butler. Like seeing him pop up, this was actually one of my like first introductions to Austin Butler, and I thought he was pretty solid in this one. Alright. Number 8 is The Carrie Diaries. Now, of course, The Carrie Diaries is a prequel to Sex and the City, with a younger Carrie Bradshaw in 1980s Connecticut. And here, you got Austin Butler, who plays Sebastian, who's this wealthy, rebellious new student, and he also becomes Carrie's love interest. He is, like, very charming, but very troubled here. I really quite like The Carrie Diaries. I think The Carrie Diaries is a tad bit better than the Sex and the City revival that just premiered, and just like that. And just like that was a little disappointing. But The Carrie Diaries I still thought was pretty decent. Anna Sophia Robb, of course, played young Carrie Bradshaw. She was great. Her like chemistry with Austin Butler is really good. The show only lasted for about 2 seasons, which is unfortunate, from 2013 to 2014. But I still thought it was a pretty decent show, and it's a shame they exited pretty fast, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, number 7 is Arrow. Now, Arrow, of course, is a CW show that follows, like, Oliver Queen, who becomes, like, the vigilante Green Arrow. And, of course, here Austin Butler I guess you could say this is his DC. He's actually been fan cast for, like, Marvel and DC before. Obviously, I know a lot of people think he should play Gambit in the MCU, which I kind of see that, actually. There's some people that think he could easily play Batman, which, okay then. I don't know, I think I could probably see him as Batman. Seeing him pair up with David Cornsworth, I think I could probably see that. But anyway, obviously before all that, he was on Arrow. Here, of course, he plays Chase, who's this suave DJ who briefly catches the eye of, Felicity Smoke. And like, of course, he is revealed to be a dangerous operative for the League of Assassins, and I thought his arc was pretty decent. I thought he really his appearance really highlights the episode's stakes, and Butler's performance definitely really showcased that he was just not this Nickelodeon Disney teen heartthrob we knew him back in the days, and he was pretty good in this one. All right. Number six is Switch at Birth. I actually quite like Switch at Birth. I mean, it's like not one of the top tier best shows of all time, nothing like that. But I thought it was pretty charming here. Of course, you guys don't know much about Switch at Birth. It premiered on ABC Family, obviously now known as Freeform. It follows Bay and Daphne, who are two teens who discover they were accidentally switch at birth here. And of course, the show explores their family's efforts to integrate while addressing themes of identity, class, and all. And here you got, of course, you got Vanessa Morano. Leah Thompson is also in this. You got some really cool cast members here and there. Lucas Grable from High School Musical fame. And here, of course, Butler plays Wilkie, who's a charm rebellious high school student and friend of Bay's, love interest here. And he's very confident, flirtatious, and a bit of a troublemaker. And he actually does have some really charisma that shines. He really adds levity and romantic tensions here, and he really foreshadows his layer abilities, to steal scenes and all. He doesn't really have he didn't really have much to do throughout the next few seasons. He kind of left the last few seasons, but I still thought he was pretty decent in the episode, in the season that he was on, and he was pretty decent on this. All right. Number 5 is the one I just saw this past week, and that is Caught Stealing. Again, I just saw this past Saturday, and it's really good. I mean, it's really endearing. Austin Butler, of course, plays Hank, who's a down on his luck, everyday man who, of course, ordinary life unravels into chaotic fight for survival. And he really plays the part very well. His chemistry with Matt Smith is great. Vincent D'Onofrio is terrific. It is just a lot of fun and well worth a watch. All right. Number 4 is The Bike Riders. Now, this movie, of course, came out last year, and it's directed by Jeff Nichols, and it's a drama that traces the rise and fall of the Vandals, a fictional 1960s Midwestern motorcycle club inspired by Dandelion's photojournalism. And it's really excellent. Butler really does such a great job here. Tom Hardy's great. Jodie Comer's terrific. It is a really interesting, intense film. Great. It's a shame that hardly no one went to go see it last year, but it's a really good one. All right, number 3 is Dune Part 2. I kid you not, I still think awesome. The performances in Dune Part 2 is great. I didn't really enjoy the performance for Oscar really great. But if I had to pick someone who deserved an Oscar nomination, to me, it's probably Austin Butler. I think he could have easily gotten a nomination for this. I really thought, Austin Butler literally gave a Heath Ledger as Joker level performance here. That's how good I thought he was in this. Of course, here he plays Fraud Rafalia, who's the cunning and sadistic nephew of Baron Harkonnen, and obviously he the character of Fraud was portrayed by Sting in the original, and also Butler was really unrecognizable here. He was very scary throughout. He plays such a ruthless foe to Paul, and his portray highlights the film's tensions here. He's just such a great villain. Now, I heard Robert Pattinson is supposed to play the bad guy in the next one. I kid you not, it's gonna be hard to top Austin Butler's performance, but we'll see. I'm sure Robert Pattinson could do it. All right, number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, this is actually the movie that I guess you could say really put him on the map for more people. Obviously, I know he did stuff iconic shows like iCarly, Zoe 101, Arrow, Switch at Birth, and all. This is really the movie that really cements him as a movie star. Here, of course, Austin Butler plays Tex, who's a real-life Manson family member, and a chilling enforcer of Charles Manson's cult. And he actually doesn't have as much like his portrayal is like very understated. Yes, menacing. He is very dangerous and a follower who embodies the cult's violence potential. And he really, though it's of course a supporting role. Obviously, the heaviers is Leo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and all. He really does outshine as a supporting player, and he does such a great job here. Like he adds some tense to the wrench sequence, and really great performance, say the least. And my number one favorite project of his is the one that got him his first Oscar nomination, and that is Elvis. Austin Butler really embodied Elvis perfectly. If it wasn't for Brendan Fraser, coming out with The Whale, I think Austin Butler could have won his Oscar for this. But obviously, Brendan Fraser came out with The Whale, and yeah. But of course, he did actually score, a couple of other award recognitions, so there's that. But hey, I still thought Elvis was great. Tom Hanks as like his manager was terrific. Austin Butler just really sung a lot like Elvis. Like even now, when you look out, like when hear him like in interviews, he even does actually still have the Elvis talk in him. Like when I saw Caught Stealing, I'm like, is he still pulling off the Elvis accent? Seriously, like you did Elvis back in 2022. Like you don't have to do the accent all the time, but he really does sound a lot like Elvis nowadays. And he does such a just really charismatic, soulful, conflicting, really embodies Elvis perfectly. And there's been other actors who has played Elvis over the years, but I think Austin Butler embodied it much better than anyone did. Especially Michael Shannon. Like Michael Shannon played Elvis one time, and that wasn't so good. So yeah, but anyway, here is of course that's pretty much it there. And here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Yoga Hosers. 9, Zoe 101. 8, The Carrie Diaries. 7, Arrow. 6, Switch at Birth. 5, Caught Stealing. 4, The Bike Riders. 3, Dune Part 2. 2, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And number 1 is Elvis. Now, there's also other ones I could have added to. Austin Butler movies and series. He was also in that little film on Netflix titled Dude with Lucy Hale. That was actually not so bad there. Let's see. I was not a fan of the Shannara Chronicles. I know people was going to say, oh, where's the Shannara Chronicles? I tried watching that. It's not for me. Let's see. What else we got here? My Uncle Raphael is a pretty good one. That's a little underrated little comedy there. The Dead That Don't Die. Of course, he was just in Eddington. He was pretty good in that. Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure with Ashley Tisdale, which is the High School Musical spin-off film. A-List in the Act was actually his first feature, so that's okay, cool there. That also had Ashley Tisdale in it, so yeah. The Intruders, with Miranda Cosgrove. iCarly, obviously. Nessie Classified. Love Unexpected. Ruby and the Rockets. Zeke and Luther, and many others. Anyway, let me let you guys. What is some of your favorite Austin Butler film and TV projects? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Hugh.